former and beloved Miquon PE teacher. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
You all look so beautiful up here and so grown up. How in the world did that happen? We're so happy for each of you. So I'm Rosanna Zapp, and this is my husband Rich. We're the parents of Nico, class of 2019, Dexter, class of 2016, and Sophian, class of 2013. And in addition to being a Miquon parent, I also happen to teach most of these children in some way or another. So that's extra special. So next year will be the first time I'll look out of my window and see none of my children playing outside. So today is truly bittersweet. As the parents of Nico, our third and final Miquon graduate, we have seen firsthand the magic of the Miquon experience.
Our hope is to share a few of our memories and perspectives gained from our time at Miquon. In doing so, we hope to touch on that special mix of ingredients that defines a quintessential Miquon experience. Deep trust in children, space to explore and take risks free from adult interference, lots of dirt, creek water, and sticks that are no longer than the length of your arm.
So nearly 12 years ago, we came to Miquon for an open house in search of a school for our 3 children. Sophie was 7, Dex was 3, and Nico was just a few months old. After having just finished graduate school, I also happened to be looking for a job. So the search was really for our family, for a school community who would help us raise our children, and where I could learn and grow as a teacher. It was a tall order, and all the right pieces had to be in place. And thankfully, the stars were aligned. From the moment we pulled into that gravel driveway, we knew that Miquon was a very special place, unlike anything we had ever experienced before. A gurgling creek, a symphony of birds, chipmunks scurrying, and the beautiful sounds of children at play. Was this a school? Or a summer camp? Or Hogwarts, maybe? But whatever it was, we were immediately charmed, and so, lucky for us, our family became part of the Miquon family. And we are forever grateful for this. Our lives have been so deeply enriched by this community. As parents of 3 Miquon kids, we, like the graduates, are experiencing a mix of emotions. Excitement and trepidation for what lies ahead. Teenagers, by the way, are hard. Nervousness, because like many of our graduates, speaking in front of a large audience is scary, kind of. And sadness in knowing that an era for our family is coming to an end. But there are also things that we are not going to miss.
For instance, frequent tick checks, lice alerts, although this year we've been relatively lice-free. The stink of well-used creek boots and sneakers, moldy clothing found at the bottom of backpacks, mixed with an assortment of rocks, old water bottles, and overdue library books. Sorry, Sarah.
Yet there's so much we are going to miss.
such as the iconic athleisure uniform of a Miquon kid, which is some combination of tie-dye, multicolor, stripes, and floral, pants that are too short because our kids can't be bothered, unless it's 40 degrees or warmer, in which case that means shorts, fleece, only in the coldest of days, and of course, creek boots.
The annual talent show, where each of our kids at some point in their Miquon history rocked out in the Moore Building.
And especially the adorable nursery talent show, somersaults, monster impersonations, and interpretive dance in front of a doting audience. As cute as those nursery kids were, the audience cheering was just as endearing.
The delicious, child-friendly potlucks, often hosted by very generous and daring parents who don't mind the wake of destruction left by our children.
In the memory of this group doing the Thriller dance in their second grade play. Yes, I know you think it's crazy, but to us adults, it was amazing.
The unapologetic identity of what it means to be a Miquon kid, which I've come to learn is being yourself, plain and simple.
But more than anything, the kids will miss the play. Outdoor, all-weather, kid-led play. I remember many years ago first hearing that at a young age, Miquon kids were allowed to play outside without adult supervision. I thought to myself, as I imagine some of you did, is that a good idea? Is that safe? And then the stories started filtering home of choice time games in the woods and by the creek. This was not the blacktop elementary school recess of my youth, played out under the watchful eye of playground aides. This was kid paradise, unfolding in daily doses of joy, outside learning. The word to describe it best is Narnia, or better yet, Miquon. The games were creative, such as mud pie factories, damming the creek, and diverting the water to create strong currents. The games were often energetic, such as all-campus tag, pickup games of soccer and basketball, and legendary rounds of Foursquare. There was strategy involved with forming teams and building forts that could withstand attack. A monetary system of quartz like rock evolved. And trades and alliances ensued. Sometimes kids felt left out, but occasionally play got too rough. In other words, real stuff happened. And for the most part, the kids worked it out. The play was kid-led, based on their interests, which means sometimes it got a little risky. And I remember when Dexter was in 6th grade, he and a few friends found a long vine hanging from a tree on the steep hill up behind the art room. A plan was hatched to cut the vine loose and swing out over the hill. Now, Dex and his friends approached Kate in the science room about borrowing some saws. Yep, you heard that right. I don't know what kind of clarifying questions were asked, maybe Kate remembers, but a few minutes later, with saws in hand, the kids headed back out into the woods. Now, what transpired was a euphoric afternoon of play, swinging high on their vine over the hill. But now at this point, I was an experienced Miquon parent, and not much fazed me. But I wanted to see this vine swing. And to be honest, what I saw did not comfort me. The kids were swinging pretty high, so I decided to check in with Dexter's teacher, Lynn, who's taught at Miquon for 50 years. And I thought the conversation started off great with Lynn. I said, Lynn, I'm concerned about this vine. Have you heard about this thing? Lynn responded to my great relief, yes, I'm worried about the vine too. I said, great, so what's the plan? Well, said Lynn, I just worry about how the kids who found the vine are going to end up sharing the vine. I thought, Lynn, it wasn't my concern at all. But then I wondered, maybe it should have been.
like many of the families that sit with us today, all we ever truly want for our children is to be happy. To us, and I'm sure many of you here, happiness is about getting up in the morning and finding meaning in your work. And at Miquon, the work, as it should be, is grounded in play and discovery. Happiness is about the relationships you forge, the experience of being loved and loving others. And this is what Miquon has given our children. Here at Miquon, our children were loved and known in ways that we never thought possible. At school, of all places. At Miquon, our oldest child was known and loved for his creativity, quirky and quick wit, and his beautiful musicianship. Our second, for his quick legs, scholarship, and enthusiasm for learning anything and everything. And our youngest, our baby, once known as the youngest kid in the entire school, has grown into the most kind and compassionate big kid, a role model and playmate to many of the younger children here at Miquon, a role that he never gets to play at home. And on this stage, we have scholars, athletes, activists, poets, painters, musicians, inventors, scientists, or any combination of this and more. Here at Miquon, children are invited and expected to pursue their passions, discover new interests, take risks, make mistakes, and speak their minds and truths. At Miquon, our children are encouraged to question, to advocate for themselves and for others, to ask how and why, to play in the rain and in the mud, to notice and to wonder. To the graduates, as you leave for your new schools where the learning and teaching will likely look different, where you'll need to navigate the tricky and sometimes uncomfortable world of middle school, where you may have to call teachers by their last names, where you'll encounter new classmates and make new friends. Remember that you are unapologetically a Miquon kid, now and always, and let that be your guiding light. Thank you.